This is Sybert signing into Red Alert 3 on the map, sub-0 hour for a 3v3. We get to see this windmill in this barn. We get to see this map for, I think, the first time ever on this channel. In the top left-hand corner, making up our start of team number 1 in the north as the Green Empire, this is Cellmate. Look at him going for a cheeky, fast 3 refineries, which is pretty common in Empire team games. In the middle, as the Orange Empire, this is YuNo. On the right, as the Blue Empire, this is FengQ. Or just Fang, is probably I will be calling him. Also going for the cheeky 3rd refinery. A couple of oil derrick captures. Probably similar thing going on in the south as the Yellow Soviets, making up team number 2. This is Red 3VN. I'll probably just be calling him Red 3, maybe Red 3 player. We've seen in some other team games. In the middle as the Purple Soviets, this is fishyFish. And on the right side as the Red Allies, our only allied player with his MCV somewhere, this is 242, and then some other numbers I didn't bother to write down. We've got a 3v3. We are on sub-0 hour. Each team starts with 3 veteran academies. There's the 2nd and the 3rd. So that means if you capture all 3, as this team has, you will have heroic units right out of the gate. Of course, we see YuNo actually sneaking and sneaking a dojo down here, trying desperately. I was wondering why the Empire player was attacking the bears all the way down here, but of course it's because it's YuNo, and they were trying to sneak this little veteran academy away from their opponent, because then they would have heroic units and their opponents would only have double vet, which of course would give them a huge advantage. So on this map, expect to see a focus on those veteran academies. It gives you a huge advantage if you are able to kill your opponents and keep yours alive, although typically both sets will go down over the course of this game, and I expect those to be targets for both of these teams. 2 refineries up and running for fishyFish, but it looks like fishyFish isn't doing too much other than that, getting harassed a little bit by, someone in the last game said don't sleep on the stingrays, and that is so true. You want to make sure you deal with the stingrays, otherwise they'll wreck your base and they will tear up your face, as they are known to do. Going to be targeting down the Veteran Academy from the get-go. 3 now on the way from Red 3VN, and as I said, Purple fishyFish, I'm not convinced he's doing a whole lot. Like, he's got the 2 refineries and a super reactor, and then a super reactor shape of regular reactors. This is already not looking very good for our team in the north, but what is looking good for our team in the... Oh my gosh! He suicided so far on land. Like, he didn't break up over the rocks or anything like that. He made it so close to actually hitting these stingrays, but didn't. Going to be going for the 2nd Veteran Academy, and as I said, this will give a big advantage, although that advantage may be short-lived, to our team in the south. And now team in the north is going to have to do something about this. Chopper VX is a great way to do something about this. In fact, this double vet Chopper VX will probably be going heroic the somewhat old-fashioned way. His parents got him double vet status, but he had to earn the single star by himself. Conscripts with their single star, their heroic status, almost get the kill on the Jet Tango, but it will escape. This game almost certainly will not be decided, by a single Jet Tango. I almost said surprised, which, I mean, it could be surprised by a single Jet Tango, whatever that means. And wait, he pulled that harvester off really early to get the command hub down to, I guess, give himself some better support. Single Bullfrog packed along just to deal with that Chopper VX. It does get shot up and crash into the ground. A little bit of Harvester harass over on the left side. It looks like Cellmate able to get a kill on a Harvester, and then over here, the Tangus have been able to be pushed away. Well, YuNo may end up losing this Veteran Academy. The Tangus aren't going to be able to stop it. The Bullfrogs are here to guard, and well, actually, no, for now, the Stingray does pull away down in the south. A couple of Tangus going to be keeping watch over Red 3's stuff, and they could just go for the transform and go to try and kill the Veteran Academy. 2nd Veteran Academy does go down, just 1 for the team in the north, and it looks like it's still 2 standing for the team in the south, although soon could be just the 1, and then things will be back to normal And that's the great thing about veteran academies. In theory, they can be insanely useful. But most of the time on this map, they just get eliminated so quickly that, you know, the majority of the game is not decided by them. But as many units as you can get out with that double vet or that heroic status is good. And then, of course, any advantage that you can get over your opponent is also wonderful. I think he may have just called down satellites upon that Veteran Academy. I think that's what was just showing up on the minimap there. Tengu's YuNo and Cellmate joining together for an MCV harass. Red 3 is going to be taking a lot of damage on his MCV. Gets blocked a little bit there by the reactor, forcing these Tengus to go up close and personal with the Stingrays, but they may end up just circling around to the other side of the con yard and forcing it to pack up, going for the crush move a little bit here, as well. Actually, this multi-gunner turret is going to give a lot of power to this defensive force. For now, the Tengu does manage to escape. The barracks is going to get dropped down. The engineer should be able to heal up that con yard without too much trouble. So all you worried about Red 3 and his yellow Soviet MCV, he should be just fine. The lonely dry dock, uncaptured and uncared for by virtually anyone. Although over here it has been captured by 242, who is also just taking it upon himself to... What is going on? How does this happen? I mean, I guess that's how it happens, but, like, you know, just drop a second prospector. It'll pay for itself. I mean, you're dropping so many multi-gunner turrets, you can probably afford the additional prospector to get better placement. Another harvester going to be coming up. This is a lot of refineries for 242. 242 should be able to pump out a huge Tier 3 army relatively soon, and could very well be going for some upgrades soonish, but then also we should expect to see Proton Collider, Chronosphere popping on out of this map at some point. One Veteran Academy still surviving for each player. It could be a single vet advantage. Will continue on through this game. As we can see, a lot of these units being produced after the other two Veteran Academies went down. Same with the Shogun, same with the majority of those Tengus. So you can see how that's sort of affecting these players. A Tier 3 and then just a Tier 1 naval yards for Feng. Lots of bullfrogs here to keep those Tengus out of the sky, but a big transform from YuNo and Cellmate gets eliminated. Oh man, those Tengus were going to do fantastic, and then suddenly they all evaporated. Just a couple of Stingrays do survive. It looks like 3 or 4 do manage to survive, 3 and some bullfrogs actually. And then Tsunami tanks are going to be there to hold them off. Shogun battleships on the right side of the map taking some bombing runs from those Vindicators. Just 4 Vindicators, which is a relatively low number of Vindicators considering the amount of cash that 242 has been collecting. This guy might actually get to a record-breaking amount of credits over the course of this game. And there are some oil derricks. Okay, so he does have 1 oil derrick, so he'll always have that income for the next good bit of this game. I think there are 3 oil derricks spread across each side of the map, yeah, as you can see there. So 1 per player, and it looks like in the north at least they split them up evenly, and it looks like in the south they may have also done that. Stingray is going to be closing in on the Shogun battleship, but the Wave Force Tower will be able to save that Shogun from certain doom. Satellites will be called down upon it, but it does manage to survive. Satellites also called down upon this ore collector, but it does manage to survive as well. So a good day for surviving in the empires in the north. Able to survive the Soviet satellite rain. And this one Tengu, or this one Stingray, may get overwhelmed. His buddy is here to get the final kill on some of these Tengus, but for now, the transform will save them. YuNo is able to run away quite nicely. And this is one of the great things as an Empire player, having the mobility of Tengus in these big team games. Yeah, they're not great against all of these targets. A classic Soviet excess of power. Who cares who you kill as long as it's powerful, as long as it's a big, cool explosion. And Red 3 dropping a naval yard over on the right side of the map to pump out a bunch of Stingrays as well to support the aircraft carriers and, of course, the assault destroyers over there on the right side of the map. Tengu's forming up their defensive line in the sky, and they may actually be able to take out these drones before they get to some of these naval units. Naginata cruisers, or Naginata cruisers, if you want me to say it the correct way. EMP locks down a lot of those Empire units, and this is one of those things that can be very frustrating to deal with, but in this case, it's going to be a slow death for these units because, well, some of them are actually already back online. Big overcharge from the Stingrays, doing a lot of damage to these Shoguns, and they're unable to escape. Of course, a couple of Stingrays also getting caught in the fire, and unfortunately, the Naganatas are too far away to be much use. Well, never mind. They're actually getting to the Stingrays now. EMPs no longer locking anything down. The Shoguns will survive just barely. It looks like it will manage to escape on out of there. Naginata's able to clear the waters, keep the Stingrays from cleaning up these Empire artillery. While on the left side, YuNo got his own Shogun battleship showing up to the fight, and will take a lot of damage from these Akula subs. The Akula subs are maybe gonna kill it. Hard to say for sure. Tesla Coil trying to infringe upon the waters of, well, it's really Cellmate's waters, but it's YuNo is the one who's actually fighting for them. Shogun battleship does eventually go down. Hands off heroic veterancy there. And, of course, we do have some superpowers out, some super weapons out on the field. Chronosphere and a Proton Collider as well, even though I selected them in the opposite order. Red 3, you gotta hand it to him. This guy is not going light. He is doing exactly as much as he possibly can. He's physically expanding into his opponent's space. 50 seconds left on the Chronosphere, so it could be used in an upcoming engagement. Over on the right side of the map, it looks like Allied aircraft carriers have been able to push back the Empires on the right side. Twinblade's going to be teaming up with some satellites to finally get some kills for one of our Soviet players, fishyFish, who hasn't done a whole lot in this game. Mostly it's been Red 3 and 242, but fishyFish starting to get in on the action. Ooh, Tank Buster's going to be showing up into the main base of Red 3. 5 Tank Busters in a sudden transport will deal with one refinery quite easily, but not another refinery, as it looks like they have given up trying to fight any longer. Single Yari mini-sub does end up going down, and the MCV has been pushed back. The assault has been stopped. The Chronosphere is ready to potentially teleport away that MCV if his ally should call upon it. And you also could teleport your aircraft carriers really far forward, maybe even like right here. Try and use them to get really far inland. And that's just one way, a creative use of the Chronosphere. It would be pretty embarrassing if you reverse killed, you know, you do the insta-kill with the Chronosphere of teleporting units, amphibious units off of water, or land units onto water, and Bears will clean up the rest of those Tank Busters. Very nicely done there by Red 3 VN. Almost lost a whole bunch of stuff, but in the end, only lost a little bit of stuff. Would be quite embarrassing if an allied player used the Chronosphere to accidentally kill their own stuff, as I was describing. But maybe it can happen. Oh! Well, that's what it was used for. Riptide and Tanya able to clean up quite a bit of stuff in the north. And Tank Busters inside of this building doing some pretty big damage, but not big enough to stop this many aircraft carriers who just lit up that MCV, EMPs it after it's dead, just to make sure. He's like, you know, that doesn't do any damage. I don't care. I want it dead. One single reactor, the only thing left over from Red 3's Empire. He has been pushed so far back by YuNo's Shogun battleships, even his crane is going to be feeling the hurt. And it looks like a super reactor may be going down in just a few moments, but Fang is losing everything. MCV down, Mecha Bay down, Tier 3 about to be down. And yeah, killing a super reactor is nice, but things may have to be a little bit more than that. Super reactor goes up. Couple of strikers, couple of Tengus mixed in there. Red 3 showing up with some Akula subs. Somehow this instant generator survived. I don't know what that was. Someone just got handed a lot of promotions for something. Oh my gosh, every time it makes new drones, they all get a veterancy upgrade. I didn't realize that's actually how that worked, is the drones could somehow get the veterancy upgrade as well. That's really weird. I don't know if anyone has dug into the game code and knows what that is about. By the way, Red 3 is probably about to die. He's got a naval yard. He's got a reactor over there, so technically he's still in the game. But, man, that's so weird that every time the drones leave, it counts as them being created. FengQ has been defeated. It's 2 Empire players in the north versus all the stuff in the south. There's so many Twin Blades going down. Oh my gosh, that was a mistake. That's a lot of damage, as that is something that not even Flex Seal can fix. And unfortunately, you can't get those Twin Blades back. Those are gone forever. And the unfortunate thing for fishyFish is he never seemed to expand. He's really just sitting on those 2 refineries from a long, long time ago. And the unfortunate thing is it's going to take him about 20 years to rebuild all of those Twin Blades. Although it's possible he was floating a ton of cash, and now he can just pump out Twin Blades constantly. This Shogun battleship will go down. It will not be able to survive. It will be unable to make it home. Chronosphere has once again counted down, so we'll have to see if anything mysterious happens. 25 seconds on the Proton Collider. Aircraft carriers firing as far inland as they possibly can, and things I have a feeling are about to get scrappy. YuNo and Cellmate do have a chance to try and stand up against... Oh, there's Tanya activating the time belt, trying to get away from the Empire infantry, going desperately for the MCV. 5 seconds left on the Proton Collider. Where is it actually going to be firing off? There's the sell-off, and Tanya, can she... Oh, she gets eliminated! She doesn't get into the MCV! Too little, too late. I don't know where the Proton Collider fired off. Somewhere. Gonna call in some satellites there and try and blow up a power plant. I assume what he really wanted to kill were all of the chopper VXs, but the reality is he just killed a power plant, and that was pretty much it. Alright, fishyFish. He's got a couple of Twin Blades rolling around the map. He's got 2 airfields. I don't know, he probably has some MiGs as well, but maybe not. Javelin Troopers trying to be heroes, unable to get anything really done. Single sentry bomber over here on the left side. Just over a minute and a half left on the Chronosphere recharge, and this might be an MCV on the way for Red 3. Could be why it's taking so long to produce. YuNo expanding south, expanding past Cellmate, and going to be able to take an extra refinery, which is definitely nice. Want to keep that income up, and apparently rebuilding some power plants. Twin Blades going down. Oops. Left a couple of Twin Blades undefended. We'll trade out a couple of Tengus for it. 2 Tengus for like 3 or 4 Twin Blades. Definitely an okay trade. Satellite's going to be getting called down on the left side here. 1 big satellite directly onto that refinery. Gets the harvester. Very nicely done. I'm sure that timing wasn't... He got lucky with the timing, I think, more than waiting for the exact right moment and knowing exactly how long it'll take the satellites to fall and exactly how far along that harvester is in its cycle. So perhaps maybe just a lucky break there. But he got the kill nonetheless. YuNo heading out with a big force of choppers, and well, the Twin Blades didn't do a lot, but fishyFish is catching a lot of units with his bullfrogs. Of course, chasing them out onto the water when you're on like these cliffs is a little bit difficult, having to path all the way down to a beachfront where you can actually get out onto the water. Takes a bit of time. Over on the right side here, a great expansion opportunity by 242. 242 is soon going to control the entire right side of the map. Forget about north versus south. It's going to be his entire section of the map. And he himself may be able to finish this game up and kill our 2 Empire players by his lonesome. Another sentry bomber does go down. YuNo doing a good job of putting up a fight, but at the end I don't know that it will be enough. 1 airfield down. Go for the second airfield or go for the super reactor. 0-0 on the clock for the Chronosphere, and that is going to be the end. Whoops, a couple more. That's the end of the super reactor. MCV takes a little bit of damage, and also going to be calling down, it looks like, something. I guess he's calling down balloon bombs, because I almost said satellites, but that's not quite right. Going to be taking out the war factory as well. Bullfrogs will be here to get the kill on these chopper VXs. The balloon bombs will deal with that airfield. A couple more bullfrogs going to be chasing those chopper VXs away. And looks like for now, the MCV will manage to escape. This one lonely chopper VX is going to be harvester hunting over here on the right side of the map. I didn't miss the chronosphere, not yet. 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the Proton Collider clock. Twin Blades, they're in a little bit of danger as all of those Tengus transform. Wave Force Artillery now out on the field. Lots of infantry being produced by 242. We saw that a minute ago over here at these barracks. The expansion in the top right there. Tengu's going to be chasing down Twin Blades. They all get eliminated. 242 with another MCV. I assume he's got multiple MCVs running around the map. And it looks like this Assault Destroyer is going to stand strong. A lot of infantry in those buildings nearby, giving him a lot of help. Oh my gosh, what was that? Why? Why? What? Why? That wasn't anything. That's not a tactic. That's not anything. Tengu's going down. Oh my gosh, that was so much firepower from those 4 aircraft carriers. And of course, the aircraft carriers in this right body of water having real trouble being able to get over here and make some bombing runs. What was that? That also wasn't anything. That isn't a move. That isn't a build where you just kill your sentry bombers by running them into Tengus. That's not a build. MCV under a little bit of threat as these Mirage tanks, what are they actually doing? There's the chronosphere of that MCV onto, I don't know what. Oh, he chronosphered onto a building over here and got the kill of the MCV. Wave Force Artillery finally clearing up some of these bullfrogs. fishyFish unable to help all that much in some of those ground fights. Mirage tanks clean up a number of YuNo's buildings, and it looks like Red 3 will end up losing that oil derrick, which he's had for a little while now. Tengu's going for the flyover, realizing that the entire top right side of the map that used to be controlled by FengQ has been taken over by 242, and a little bit of representation from Red 3. Barracks are going to be going down. Spectrum Tower even here to get a couple of kills on these Tengus, and YuNo is going to try and kill as much infrastructure with these Tengus, but it looks like he's mostly just going to sacrifice these Tengus to do as much damage as possible. The barracks will go down. Even a Sea-Wing, a Skywing rather, in the air will end up going down. YuNo has been defeated, and that is the writing on the wall. I think this is going to have to be it for Cellmate. The team in the south with the sprawling empire and with the 3 players still in this game. Although, to be fair, Red 3 and fishyFish have not been doing as much over these last couple of minutes as they were previously. Much bigger showing from Red 3 in the middle part of the game. But you got to hand it to them. Holding on, never giving up, slowly but surely rebuilding and coming back in this game. Mirage tank over here in the north going to be getting the kill on that refinery. Well, that's a tier 3 barracks that's about to have a giant satellite crash into it. There's the sell-off of the barracks. So the answer, will a giant satellite kill a tier 3 barracks? Well, of course. And it's just tier 3. It doesn't. Ooh! Wow, even killed the chopper way the heck over there. The barracks doesn't gain any advantage with that tier 3. It's not like heroic or anything. A lot of infantry, not a lot, like 7? It's not that much infantry. 6 infantry, 5 flag troopers, and 1 conscript. What a weird late-game, big team battle kind of an army to show up. Tsunami tanks over here on the left side of the map going to be going for a couple of kills. Bullfrog is going to be able to clean the skies, and Tengus do transform. Going to be able to get the kill on a couple of bullfrogs, but none of the Twin Blades and the Spectrum Tower are going to be able to deal with the Tengus on the ground. And Cellmate still in this game. I'm not 100% sure why. He may genuinely feel that he has a chance, which might be technically true. It's not necessarily... Wait a second. Oh, that's 5 tank busters. Okay. Whew. thought it was something dangerous. But okay, so he snuck 5 tank busters. I thought maybe it was a Eureka in a sudden transport down there in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, and he was going to kill all of his opponent's base before they managed to kill his, like, last couple of buildings. But, nope, he's just hanging out here. A couple of tank busters. Could maybe go for the kill on power plants to try and stop the Chronosphere. Could go for the kill on the Chronosphere itself. Who knows? Eureka Omega will get overwhelmed by Twin Blades. That's what happens when you've got like 5 or 6 Twin Blades. Eureka is good, but she is not unstoppable. I am genuinely surprised that in this 3v3 on Sub-Zero Hour, what is the map called? Sub-something. 0 Hour or Sub-Zero. One of the 2 combinations of the many words I just said. There's only been 2 super weapons. I'm genuinely disappointed. I thought, when I chose to enter this replay, there would be more super weapons than just the 2. I mean, this Chronosphere, come on, he's like, not even using it. Kill these tank busters, who cares? Use it on something. I think it's safe to say Cellmate is going to have a really hard time coming back in this game. They do technically have like a refinery, so they can produce attacking units. And this should be it. Even the tank busters did go down. 5 Mirage tanks, so 1 Mirage tank for every tank buster. That will do it for this 3v3 on Sub-Zero Hour, which was okay, I guess. Yeah. I think it was okay. It had some action, but I don't really remember any blockbuster moments in it. Anyways, this is a combo video. 2 people wanted to see Sub-Zero Hour as a map. They really wanted to see games on it. So here you go. Veteran academies are a big part of this map, and yeah, they're not on basically any other map. That will do it for this game. We are going to jump into some more 3v3 action, which takes us to Magmageddon. In the top left-hand corner, making up team number 1 as the Purple Empire, this is Aurora. Aurora Bomber checking in. For all you General 0 Hours players out there. On the left side is the Orange Soviets. This is Chris880 playing those Soviets, representing over in the bottom left-hand corner as the Green Empire. This is GreekGift. And in the top right-hand corner, making up team number 2. Oh, boy. Selling off that wall. I have done that so many times, where you accidentally wall in where your refinery is supposed to go because you're just too ambitious with your walls. As the Red Empire, this is ASDF and some other letters. I think it's like Asdfghjk or something. I don't know how far he goes. Anyways, on the middle as the Cyan Empire, this is Alcatraz. And in the south, as the Blue Soviets, this is Berat. So Empire, Empire, Soviets versus Empire, Soviets, Empire. 2 Empire and 1 Soviet on each team for you guys. So a little bit of a racial balance from these guys. We had a... Oh, actually, no. I deleted that game. We had a 3v3 with 4 Allied players and 2 Empire players, and it was a total one-sided bash. But and it wasn't like a balance thing because I think there was 2 Allies and 1 Empire on each team. So now we've got like the reverse of that, but with the Soviets. So you know, there you go. You got lots of Empires, lots of Soviets. For those of you who like that. Anyways, looks like this game getting underway, and already walls being destroyed. ASDF going for the harassment all over the place. This one dojo core is going to be taking some damage, and it's just doing a little dance there. It is unable to... Actually, it does manage to escape at the last second there and gets the crush on that Imperial Warrior who was about to kill it. So what a great turnaround. Rather snapping victory from the jaws of defeat for that dojo core. And this Tengu will actually get taken out by an ore collector because it's getting healed by the naval yard, which is just nearby. Chris, of course, going to help his allies, dropping a sentry gun in the north, sending a terror drone off to help his allies, while he himself is going to be taking some harassment damage from ASDF. These Tengus are all over the map going for that harassment, and Alcatraz grabbing an oil derrick on not even his side of the map. He's got those 2 oil derricks, and he's stealing GreekGift's oil derrick there in the middle of the map. Tier 2 on this mecha bay. Lots of tsunami tanks going to be getting pumped out for GreekGift, and I don't know if he'll actually be able to do anything with them, but he's getting them. He's building them. And you don't actually need to double infect a Tengu with terror drones. You can just go with the single infect. It is actually good enough. This Tengu will end up going down. The splash damage doesn't really do anything, and an additional infect for that terror drone. Unfortunately for Chris, he just cannot get his economy on the line. Bullfrog's actually going to be doing some nice damage to these Tengus as they try and escape. One of the Tengus from ASDF does end up going down, and the terror drone getting the kill on a couple of Tengus on the ground, so that harvester will eventually get back up and running, but for now, it's going to be offline. Alcatraz running over these bases with his Tengus, going to be shooting a dragonfly right out of the air there just for a moment, manages to get that kill. Aurora has stabilized, and Chris is on his way towards stabilizing. His economy is not back up and running just yet, but he is getting his power back. He is getting his economy back online, and he should be rocking and rolling relatively soon. Going to be dropping another sentry gun in the south, going to be helping his allies out once again. This harvester is going to be drawing this Tengu out, which is nice. You don't want to take the additional damage on that harvester from the splash damage of the honorable discharge if you don't have to. Although Berat is now going to be heading in with a bunch of stingrays. 4 stingrays and 2 bullfrogs can do a lot of damage if they go unchecked. They will have a little bit of trouble with a sentry gun as long as they don't get any shots off on it before it finishes. And sentry guns can do some decent damage to stingrays, especially if the stingrays don't immediately surround and kill it. Tengu's in the sky on the left side of the map for Alcatraz. Alcatraz and ASD, they are just, they're going for so much harassment. They don't even care if they're harassing the person that they're directly across from. They're just going to be harassing the person they're directly across from, harassing that person's neighbors. They're just sending Tengus all over the map, sending Yari mini-subs all over the map, doing as much damage as they can with as few units as possible in each of these attack groups. And sometimes that can be a winning strategy. Although, if Aurora just shows up in your base with a whole bunch of Tengus because you've been piecemealing your Tengus apart and you've been losing them sort of one by one, then that also can be very problematic. Alcatraz is going to be showing up with a bunch of Tengus of his own. He's, of course, got the repair drones, which are going to be giving a huge benefit to his Tengus. And Aurora might be able to land and take all of those units, but I don't know if he'd be able to survive against the reinforcements. Meanwhile, up in the north, it looks like Terror Drone's going to be locking down that Dojo Core, while the 3rd Terror Drone gets the infect and will get the kill on that Dojo Core. ASDF won't be able to drop down that Dojo for whatever purpose it originally served, although I think, no, the Terror Drone actually did manage to survive with the smallest amount of health pretty much possible for a Terror Drone, as that Imperial Warrior tried to get the kill, but was unable to. These 4 Bullfrogs getting chased back by this one Tengu, and this one Tengu is not going to be able to, I assume he's not going to be allowed to kill all 4 of these Bullfrogs just for nothing. There is a hammer tank nearby. It looks like Berat is going to be taking a little bit of damage on his MCV. GreekGift going to be putting a bit of pressure on him. I assume he's going to be able to deal with this. This MCV has taken a lot of damage. This is going to be problematic because, of course, flak cannons don't shoot down. They can't stop this tsunami tank from doing even more damage to this MCV. And now that the MCV is on the move, the flak cannon actually got canceled, and this MCV is going down. As it does get, no, it doesn't get eliminated there. It barely survives for a couple more seconds before it goes down to that tsunami tank. One of the strikers actually did have to land. Berat is out of an MCV, and that fully heroic tsunami tank ends up going down to the Stingray. And the Stingray will now, well, it won't actually go down to the Chopper VX because the Bullfrogs are here for the defense. And Berat is going to continue to put pressure on GreekGift, who was able to get the kill on the MCV, but may not have enough forces to actually stop the army of Berat from marching all over his base. Berat is looking to be in a pretty good situation. He's got 4 refineries for sure. A 5th one is under threat and may end up getting destroyed but he's got the naval yard, so he can reproduce the MCV. Berat, I think, is going to be okay, at least for the current moment. He's taking some damage, but it looks like he's putting out his own damage. Up in the north, Alcatraz, again, not even striking Chris, who's directly across from Alcatraz. Instead, striking up to the north, hitting Aurora. Chris going to be showing up with a bunch of Soviet forces in the defense for Aurora. Going to be helping Aurora stay online in this case. Berat's going to be going down because Berat managed to grab the super reactor of Chris. What a great engineer cap move there for Berat. And, of course, Berat is probably going to sell it off before Chris is able to recap it. And Berat is probably going to sell it off. Berat will sell it off. Berat, sell it off, Berat. Berat, sell it off. Berat, sell it off. Oh, come on. If he loses that super reactor... Well, I mean, it's okay because he stole it in the first place, but that'll be kind of funny if Chris is actually able to reclaim this. The MCV of Chris taking a lot of damage does end up going down there. So many Tengus. Aurora now going to be showing up in defense of Chris, and that is just a ton of Tengus bloody and battered on the ground. Their body parts everywhere, completely destroyed, and it looks like Berat is not actually going to be selling that off. I don't know why he didn't sell it off immediately. You might as well. Another super reactor goes up for Chris, so now he's got a ton of electricity to go around, and a single Yari mini-sub from ASDF in the wrong corner of the map, in the very bottom left-hand corner of the map, even though he spawned in to the top right-hand side. And continuing on with this constant harassment is ASDF. This guy is like earning his harassment merit badge or something. He is just going all out for these little bits of damage everywhere on the map. Single Yari mini-subs trying to deal with Imperial docks and whatever else they can. Aurora may be trying to chase down this one Tengu. He's, of course, got far superior numbers and point defense drones to boot, so no real chance of that one Tengu doing anything against the sheer numbers of Aurora there. Berat's attack with the Stingrays didn't go too much further than this little area here. Berat continuing to try and take this ore refinery position. He doesn't need to hold on to it for that much longer for it to. He doesn't need to hold on to it for that long for it to be worth it. And if he's able to use it as a forward operating base to attack his opponent, then that's always a benefit. ASDF once again going for the harass of this entire refinery, although this Yari mini-sub and all of these Tengus will allow them to clean this up very nicely. And Aurora has defended his refinery for now. GreekGift defending his refinery in kind of that southern position there. And a great catch of this MCV. Alcatraz with the Emperor's Rage advantage in damage. Although Chris shows up with a couple of MiGs in case the transform does happen. And the MiGs aren't actually in range of those Tengus. If they turn around, they will get some kills. If they don't turn around, they may not even escape anyways. They get one MiG very easily there. And the MiGs now almost run away, but then they turn around. So it's going to be Tengu versus Tengu, and in this case, everything from Alcatraz goes down. He was probably counting on that happening anyways because he didn't have the speed to escape. Of course, Emperor's Rage, you do more damage, but you move more slowly. Akula sub showing up for Berat, going to be getting a bit of damage on that ore refinery before turning around and leaving town. Tesla Coil now going to be going down, and with these four, well, there's only 3 tsunami tanks because the fourth one is actually a Striker VX, which is getting targeted down by these twin blades. But Chris is going to be showing up. Lots of hammer tanks going to be pushing Berat out of this area. And actually a couple of hammer tanks maybe grabbing a Bullfrog upgrade to clear these twin blades out of the sky. Finally, the MiGs do show up for Chris. Lots of MiGs going to be pursuing these twin blades, I assume. Although just one MiG actually brave enough to step out over the water and go for the kill on that twin blade. Of course, now that the twin blades are over the land, the Tengus actually chase away the MiGs, which means these twin blades are going to continue to do more and more damage. This is such a messy fight with GreekGift and Chris both on the ground attacking Berat's expansion, but in the sky, Berat doing what he can with the twin blades and trying to defend his expansion. He won't be able to take it, and ooh, a little bit of a mistake here for ASDF, who's going to be losing 3 Tengus? Yeah, I think he lost all 4 Tengus there. One of them tried to split off to the south, it looked like, but ended up going down as well. And the twin blades show back up again. They get a kill on a bunch of Strikers, but the MiGs will finally finish them off. Aurora showing up with a huge MiG or Tengu army is going to be able to clear this, guys. There's the transform. There's the Bullfrogs going down. A couple of Stingrays do show up with their overcharge. They can do massive damage to big clumps of nothing. because all of the Tengus pull away and the Strikers get the kill on the Stingrays. Such a back and forth using Strikers and Tengus in concert the way that they are clearly designed to be used. But the Bullfrogs can outrange the Strikers, and it's just one hit after another. Berat damaging his own airfield, but only a little bit, trying to use the special ability on the Tsunami tanks and not quite being able to get them both. Oh my gosh, what an absolute bloodbath this battle is turning into. Just strike after strike as these guys are doing so much damage to each other. A Dreadnought turns around and is heading back for the defense. Chris getting overwhelmed by Tengus, and it looks like the Super Reactor will be going down. Tengus will be trading their lives out, but it looks like Aurora shows up and cleans up all of the rest of Alcatraz's Tengus. Chris still with another Super Reactor there, isn't going to be on low power mode for very long in the north. ASDF getting chased away by Aurora, but Aurora looks actually pretty badly beaten. Aurora may have been taking a lot of damage while I was down here in the south taking care of, looking after these attacks going on between Chris, GreekGift, and Berat. These names getting to me. Chris with a lot of MiGs, but after the transform, of course, they're useless. And it looks like all of the Tengus from Aurora have been going down. ASDF and Alcatraz have been able to, I guess, just simply overwhelm the Tengus of Aurora. Not a lot of advantage in a 2v1 for the one player. But of course, Chris and GreekGift going to be able to join forces in a lot of these attacks, literally join forces as the hammer tanks receive point defense drone upgrades. And the Bullfrogs will be able to deal with this paltry 4 Twin Blades. They will be able to push them back very nicely. Refinery goes down. Berat may be getting pushed out of the land. He may be a water-only player in a minute or two. Looks like Aurora is going to be showing up with the MiGs to defend against Alcatraz. Alcatraz now going to be going for the transform. It's 3 Tengus versus 4, but now it's 2 Tengus versus 1 as Alcatraz gets the kill on the last Tengu of Aurora. And even, well, how did that Tengu go down? I guess he flew over a base defense or something. A couple of Strikers now going to be showing up for ASDF. ASDF and Alcatraz going to be joining forces to attack Chris as Chris is attacking Berat in the south. It looks like the Super Reactor ended up getting sold off there. The walls all surviving, which would be a little bit unusual if it exploded. And this refinery will be going down. This other refinery will most likely be going down. But Alcatraz shows up with a bunch of Tengus. He gets the kill on just the Bullfrogs, creating a huge anti-air weakness for all of these hammer tanks. They're going to be susceptible to, I assume, Strikers or Twin Blades or something is going to be showing up, right? He killed all of the anti-air, but now nothing's showing up. Naval Yard produces another MCV, but then the Naval Yard gets sold off, so this MCV maybe... No, there's a crane. So, okay, even if he loses the MCV, he's got another Naval Yard, he's got a crane, he's set and good to go. Aurora losing even more Tengus. He's got the repairs, but he doesn't have the numbers as ASDF clears the skies once again, sending so many Tengus crashing down to the ground. ASDF with the Tengus flying over Chris's base once again, looking for the openings, looking for the opportunities to do lots of damage. It looks like Chris just healed up that Super Reactor with an Engineer. Yari Minisub's going to be sacrificing themselves to get the kill on each other. Of course, in a 1v1 situation, you might as well just get the kill that way if you're not sure you'll win the fist fight, torpedo to torpedo. Barely able to win that torpedo fight right there. Greek fight. That's something else entirely, as GreekGift is going to be able to get the repairs and get that harvester back up and running. But Berat is not going to be giving up. He's going to be killing another harvester and then turning north to potentially finish off this refinery, which the Yari Minisub of someone else could not quite be able to do. I'm not actually sure whose Yari Minisub that was. I guess, you know, ASDF or Alcatraz, but I don't actually remember what color it was. Chris now turning his attention to Alcatraz in the middle of the map, who was also going for an attack on the Super Reactor, going to be able to get the kill with these Tengus. Does pull his Tengus away at the last moment there as Chris gets even more point defense drones, but does even more damage to the infrastructure of... And actually, another Engineer popped into that Super Reactor, so Chris prolonging his Super Reactor's life by a huge factor, and once again going to be saving it from death and destruction for at least a little while. Chris dropping a whole bunch of beacons, probably saying, hey, the super reactor is about to blow. If you guys can do anything about it, please help me out. And oh my gosh, these Striker VXs over his Hammer Tank army is so difficult to deal with. So many Tengus now going to be defending their Striker VXs as the Strikers, or the Choppers rather, I know technically I'm saying the wrong thing. Oh my gosh, somehow these Tengus still have not managed to kill the super reactor. Eventually, it will go down. Surely it will go down, right? Right, eventually it will go down. Yeah, okay, there's the transform. There's the engineer getting sniped. And this super reactor will now finally... Oh my gosh. That took so much longer than I anticipated. All the hammer tanks go down. Chris's entire army has been slaughtered. He's lost a lot of his infrastructure back at home. Again, the combo attacks from Alcatraz and ASDF doing so much damage. Aurora has been defeated. Chris has been defeated. GreekGift is the only one left in this game on the team on the left side, and I assume he is going to be packing it in pretty soon here. Although he's not. Sometimes you see players able to pull off a 1v3. GreekGift has been defeated. That will do it for this game. A good fight from our team on the left side, but ultimately unable to close their fist in victory. They have simply been defeated by, wow, Berat was way ahead on income compared to everyone else. 40,000 credits ahead of some of these guys. Aurora on kind of the low end of the income graph there, along with GreekGift. So really, 2 out of the 3 guys on the left side were the lowest earners for the whole game. And that is a little bit of an explanation of how that game went the way it did. GreekGift and Aurora. But Chris putting up a good show, GreekGift as well, the two of them with a number of combo attacks, working together in both defense and offense, but at the end, ASDF and Alcatraz doing a great job of joining together as Empire brothers and punching through the team on the left side. Berat holding his own in a kind of a 1v1 stance. He didn't do as much of the team fight, he didn't do as much of the coordinating, it looked like, from the game. So Berat playing more of a 1v1 and holding his own, certainly, doing a good job of just striking out and trading blows with his opponents. So in the end, team on the right side wins that game, and that will do it for this game, for this match. Thank you all very much for watching, and I think we have one more game in this video to get to, which takes us to Magmageddon for the rest of this video. I've got 7 3v3 replays, and I think I'm going to split it into 2 videos. On the left side, as the Purple Empire, this is QWERTY, or Quirk12 is, I guess, actually his name, but QWERTY. On the left side, as the Green Empire, this is Spokess, making a return, maybe. On the left, as the Blue Soviets, this is Bluestarlight. In the top right, making up team number 2 as the Red Soviets. You know him and love him. This is pewpewlazer, one of my favorite names in all of Red Alert 3. In the middle, as the Yellow Allies, this is XonURhed. And in the south, as the Orange Allies, this is Dutch Army. I think the last time I saw Dutch Army, he crashed out of the game in a different 3v3 on Infinite Barbecue. And I think that may have been the only game of his that I've cast. Maybe there was one other one, and I'm kind of forgetting it now. Anyways, it looks like early MCV move coming out from pewpewlazer, but we have 2 Soviets, 2 Empire, and 2 Allies on this map, which is a pretty good split as far as how all of the factions go. It's 1 Soviet on each team, and then the rest of the team is either Empire or Allies, depending on which side of the map. Now, of course, this is a multi-3v3 video. We got our sub-0 hour video, and, Spokess is not a big believer. He's a very big believer in sharing. He's not a big believer in personal boundaries. It looks like Dutch Army is going to be trying to respond. Now, of course, this is the more conspicuous barracks over here, but it's not actually producing anything, so that's okay. I don't know what Spokes' plan was. I guess his plan was just to waste money from his opponents and make them respond to these barracks, but he literally has done nothing with them. He didn't even try to produce any engineers, so I guess that was just a bit of a distraction kind of a tactic. pewpewlazer going to be getting that third refinery up and running. Could be going for a fourth. Got the oil derrick as well. It looks like QWERTY is doing pretty much the same thing, of course, with those Empire refineries. Should be taking a third or a fourth one relatively soon. Would be kind of surprising if he just stuck on those 2 refineries. A little bit unusual for a 3v3 if he decided to do that. A whole bunch of wall segments are going to be cleaned up in the bottom left-hand corner, and it looks like XonURhed, I guess he was just helping his ally deal with this stuff. pewpewlazer taking lots of refineries, some of which aren't strictly his, based on the position that he spawned in. QWERTY starting to harass a little bit here, and it looks like XonURhed is going to be dropping the multi-gunner turret just to help out his ally a little bit. Reactive armor going to be getting activated for those harvesters, and the wall segments continue to fall on the right side of the map. XonURhed got a dog going to be camping outside of this dojo, getting potentially some easy kills. Look at that engineer down. That dog earning his keep for sure. Harvesters continuing to be harassed. QWERTY putting some good pressure on pewpewlazer, stopping him from just expanding infinitely and easily. And he's just like slowly base creeping his way to more and more refineries. This reminds me of some Red Alert 1 level tactics coming out here. Out on the water, it looks like Dutch Army is going to be also defending that refinery. When your allies are dropping 2 multi-gunner turrets, you guys must have some kind of a plan going on here, because 2 multi-gunner turrets to defend your allies' refinery, so that's not going to be cash that you are even getting. That's some commitment from your friends. I know a lot of people won't even drop 1 multi-gunner turret in their allies' base if they don't have to, because they'd rather spend that cash on their own units and infrastructure. Big transform from Spokes going to be escaping with those Tengus, and my gosh, these battle markers in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, that's just the walls, keep distracting me so much. Every time I click on it, I think there's some action going on, but it's actually nothing. XonURhed and Dutch Army joining forces on the water. A couple of Riptides, Hydrofoil, and a Dolphin out there on the water. Going to be pushing onto the land with the Riptides now is XonURhed. He's going to be putting direct pressure on Bluestarlight, the Soviet player who hasn't had to deal with all that much so far. Could be putting the super reactor under threat, although unless there's Javelin Troopers inside of these Riptides, which there are, the Javelin Troopers are actually going to be dealt with extremely quickly by Spokes' Tengus. All of them do go down. No, one of them technically does survive, but of course this is so many Tengus that he won't have a chance to get the laser lock up and running. 2 hammer tanks are here from Bluestarlight to defend his own base. Finally, going to be getting his own defenses online and being able to fight his own battles. Couple more, this time actually from Dutch Army, red or yellow and orange, looking pretty similar on these Riptides. Apollo's going to be chasing down a couple of these Tengus, but they fly right into the waiting arms of the Chopper VXs, and the Apollos, of course, have to get on out of there. pewpewlazer with a couple of heavy hammer tanks out here on the field, going to be stepping forward, and then potentially just running away from these 2 tank busters because they're very scared of tank busters. I mean, to be fair, tank busters literally have lasers, so they're going to slice those tanks up and down. Dutch Army going to be dropping a multi-gunner turret, and it's worth it because he gets the kill on that harvester. Even manages to get a little bit of a sell-off there for that for his trouble. Gets a harvester and sells off just a little bit there. Nice use of that cryo shot, going to be able to clean up that many Tengus, and even the precision bomber going to be getting in on the action. Then of course looks like Desolator airstrike going to be getting dropped directly onto that ore collector. Stingray turns around, gets eliminated by the suicide move of that Yari mini sub. So it looks like for now pewpewlazer has managed to barely defend that refinery in the north. pewpewlazer losing this position to his enemy, to QWERTY 12, or QWERTY, as pewpewlazer was unable to keep up the pressure, unable to keep the constant expanding going on. Drops his tier 3 in his allies' base, so the battle lab going to be there. Bluestarlight going to be slowly leeching down this oil derrick with 1 hammer tank, while the other 2 shoot away at it repeatedly. And it looks like eventually Dutch Army is going to be losing that oil derrick, but it'll take a minute. Pewpewlazer going to be losing a hammer tank, which is a little bit unfortunate, and Dutch Army going to be pushing potentially onto the land. Yeah, he's got the Riptides and the Assault Destroyer going to be going for the aggressive move here. Tesla Coil going to be getting dropped by pewpewlazer, so now his allies were nice enough to drop multi-gunner turrets in his base earlier on. He is now going to be returning that favor. It looks like Spoke's going to be able to deal with this attack from XonURhed. Everything on the ground doesn't shoot up, which means these chopper VXs, it may take them a minute to clean all of this stuff up, but they can clean all of this stuff up. They're actually going to be ignoring the hammer tanks and instead just focusing on this MCV. And, wait a second, that MCV is on, I was on the wrong side of the map. I was thinking Spokes and Bluestarlight were on the other side, but no, they are both team left side and team right side. Losing that MCV. Pewpewlazer is going to be sitting there with a barracks, but unable to really do anything to defend his allies. Bluestarlight and Spokes going to be able to move forward, killing a couple more harvesters, a couple more refineries potentially. Dreadnought's now out on the field. Bullfrog getting some nice damage done on those chopper VXs. Gets the kill on two of them. Two of them do barely manage to escape. And it looks like these Tengus will take a little bit of damage from that Dreadnought, but not too much damage. Dreadnought's now going to be turning their attention on, I assume, this docks, but no, they're still firing at the water as the Tengus have moved. Apollo's going to be clearing the skies. Dutch Army cleans up everything from Bluestarlight. And those Apollos then land as the shattered pieces of those twin blades crash to the ground. QWERTY is, yeah, no, I'm not crazy. QWERTY used to control this area, and then pewpewlazer took it back, because, of course, pewpewlazer expanded there very early on and was beaten back, but it looks like Spokes now going to be turning his aggression towards XonURhed and going to be moving directly into the main base, although a great cryo shot there will freeze the majority of the damage-dealing forces in this army, kicking Spokes out of his base, and it looks like Dutch Army is actually going to be the one with the Javelin Trooper there, able to get the kill, and this Engineer is going for the sneaky cap, is going for the sneaky, is not going for anything, because that's XonURhed's Engineer, and that's his allies' MCV. I assumed when I saw the Engineer going past that, you know, this was going to be a sneaky cap, but nope. Nothing too sneaky going on there. That Javelin Trooper desperately trying to get the shot off on that hammer tank. Will manage to get the kill, albeit barely. Bluestarlight almost being kicked out of this game. Dropped the airfield in his allies' base. Couple of conscripts, couple of hammer tanks potentially around the map as Dutch Army is putting more and more pressure on team on the left side. Couple of Striker VXs going to be potentially turning on XonURhed. Spokes with a big army in the south, going to be potentially putting a lot of pressure on Dutch Army's remaining infrastructure. A couple of Chopper VXs do go for the transform so they can get the kill on the Tesla Coil that much more quickly, and this entire expansion will get shredded. These multi-gunner turrets are not going to be enough to stop this much firepower, although if they just stand there and take it, then they may actually be enough to stop that much firepower, as eventually these forces will go down unless they start actually attacking stuff. Multi-gunner turret's going to be getting a couple of kills there as the Peacekeepers spawn in from the power plant and do what they can, but it's not enough. Dutch Army is going to be losing this bit of an expansion, although he will sell some of it off, giving himself a little bit more power and allowing him to do a little bit more damage. May end up losing the Tier 3 seaport as well, which of course it's really the Tier 3 MCV that's nearby, giving it that Tier 3, not like it's a Empire Navy Yard or something. XonURhed's still technically in this game, but not doing a whole lot in this game. Unable to make a whole lot happen for himself at this point. Got a couple of multi-gunner turrets spread throughout the map. Got a couple of... got a power plant somewhere, I assume. Oh, yeah, he's got a power plant hanging out right there in a barracks. So he's doing what he can, but what he can is not a whole lot. Spokes has lost the majority of his army. His invading army that was supposed to be crushing Dutch Army's base will not be doing anything. On the other hand, Dutch Army is now moving even further north. Bluestarlight being kicked out of the bottom left-hand corner of the map, and now Spokes being kicked out of the left side of the map, being forced into kind of the middle. as Spokes is doing what he can. Now he's got a new, fresh MCV from QWERTY, as QWERTY has been defeated. But with all of this pressure from pewpewlazer, I don't know what our team on the left side can really do. Dutch Army and pewpewlazer definitely bringing the heat, definitely doing a lot in this game to win it for their team on the right side. Assault Destroyer going to be going down south. He does not even care about these ore collectors attacking him just a little bit. He's got that black hole armor, and it just does virtually nothing to him. Spokes is... well, he's going to be able to get the kill on this aircraft carrier. I don't know what he's going to do to stop pewpewlazer in the north, though. So this MCV is going to go down. And, of course, this was QWERTY's stuff, but QWERTY is out now, so it's all Spokes stuff. Spokes trying to buy as much time as he can, I guess. He's going to try and get another Mecha Bay up and running. He's going to be stopping this Assault Destroyer from Dutch Army in the middle of the map. And it looks like these two hydrofoils from XonURhed are still going to be causing a little bit of trouble. And that Dreadnought, as it fell to the bottom of the sea, fired the last couple of rockets that crashed into that Imperial docks. Wow, this Apocalypse tank just going to be literally dragging a striker away from his friends, and I hope he just, like, slowly picks off these units one by one. They're just like, boss, can we move? Like, nah, just hang out right there. It'll be cool. It'll be super cool. I'm like, can we please move? Like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just wait. Bluestarlight shows up with 10 flak troopers. Not actually 10, but a bunch of flak troopers. He may actually get the kill on this Apocalypse tank. Oh my gosh, how often do you see flak troopers get the kill on Apocalypse tanks? And now they're going to try and deal with the terror drone, but it doesn't manage to work. pewpewlazer gets the kill with a terror drone, which I think that terror drone was just auto-attacking. I don't know if pewpewlazer was actually doing anything with that terror drone. Dutch Army loses an MCV, and that was not his MCV. That was Bluestarlight's MCV? I'm not actually sure. That wasn't that an orange MCV? Am I tripping? That may not have been an orange MCV. I thought it was an orange color, but that wouldn't make any sense. Or maybe XonURhed? I don't know. pewpewlazer even with the Kirov here. And Spokes is out, so it is all down to Bluestarlight, who is now fire sailing. And that is it. Bluestarlight has been defeated. XonURhed and Dutch Army putting in a lot of work in this game. XonURhed. pewpewlazer, excuse me, and Dutch Army putting in a lot of work in this game. And XonURhed was there. A little bit less work than the other two guys. But you got to hand it to pewpewlazer. Went really big on the eco really fast, and then basically could not be caught up to, in this case, 124,000 credits, which, you know, some of these guys were quite low on cash. Yeah, wow. So if you add up all of their money, the entire team on the left side, they barely had more than pewpewlazer by himself. So that will do it for this game. We got some more 3v3 action, unless this is the last match of this video, in which case, this is Sybert signing out.